Charlotta.
And I'm Vicky, and welcome to the School of Pattern Cutting.
In this fashion chat, we're going to look at Balenciaga again, but this time we're going to look at how original Balenciaga compares to how different creative directors have treated Balenciaga. Because you already know, or you might not, but we love Balenciaga and we've looked at this original work a lot. So we thought we'd look at how Nicolas Ghesquière and Demna Gvasaly have treated and updated
and how they've taken influences from the original collections by Balenciaga and how they've used those influences to make contemporary garments.
Yes.
Because at first I think, they don't look the same, but actually when you start looking at the sort of structures and the details, they do have a familiarity.
It's called the signature, isn't it? And that's what always sort of new creative directors try. They try to keep up the archive of the house and the style while also making their own. So if we have a quick look at just some
Balenciaga is like well known for his cutting.
Yes.
And it's quite exotic, his cutting, isn't it?
And it's a sort of cocoon shapes. Yeah. It's lots of draping and shapes which go away from the body.
There's lots of this sort of almost egg but not quite, like here. So I think if you create a director, you start thinking about that shaping,
so
wouldn't you?
Certain thing.
And also he's very, very good at sleeves, isn't he?
Yes. So for example, let's have a look. This is a cape from 1963. Yeah. So big cocoon shape, lots of pleating with typical Balenciaga sleeves, which are attached, so not set in with a gusset.
Yeah, so there's no shoulder sleeve.
Yeah, so it gives you a beautiful curved line.
And that's done in a silk.
And then if you compare it to Nicolas Ghesquière, really famous collection from, I think it's from 2006.
Yeah.
Sorry, it echoes the same sort of Balenciaga.
Let me look at that set-in sleeve. That's amazing. That on one hand is an unwearable coat because you can't move your arms up and down.
He's enhanced that attached sleeve even more. So Balenciaga would be up here. He lowered it even more, so you really get that beautiful cocoon shape.
Yeah, and I think and again, this will be done in a nice flexible wool. I think maybe almost like a boiled wool would be lovely. So,
and there's no one from that collection, and that sort of really echoes that original Balenciaga dress with that attached sleeves. You can see the gussets.
Yeah.
But then instead of a big dress, he's made it into a little jacket, so it becomes really contemporary and quite young and modern.
Yeah, and it's got like this little peplum, and that. I think this is really exciting because what I really like about it is the plainness of the neckline and the fact that where the buttons are positioned as well, because they're quite unusually, they're sort of too high and too low, aren't they? I think that's quite interesting.
The gap is really big, and it's nice how it's worn with just a pair of trousers.
Yeah, and then that really brings it up.
But look, this is where you can see these buttons really echo the original Balenciaga buttons.
So they sit on these slightly odd, unusual places. That actually it works because he's referencing the original evening cape. Yeah. So I think that's really interesting.
And another sort of detail of original Balenciaga is that sort of neckline which drapes to the back. So you can see it here.
Yeah.
The neckline goes back. So the top it's really tight, at the front it's really tight, and at the back it drapes.
It's almost like wearing a cape, isn't it? Like you've got a cape tied on or an extra piece of fabric tied on.
And then there's another example of it, isn't it? So again, all of these, the back is much bigger than the front.
Yeah, and that gives you that cocoon shape, doesn't it? So,
and then if you look at contemporary, so this is the first collection from Demna Gvasaly.
Yeah.
And this is just amazing because you think puffer jacket, sportswear, nothing to do with Balenciaga.
Yeah, and I think when it first came out, people went, oh, what's he, it's not like proper dresses, is it?
But I think what he's actually done really cleverly, because you just think the model is wearing an oversized puffer jacket, but I think it's actually pattern cut, so it creates that cocoon shape.
I think it's also because when you've seen it worn, it's always off the shoulder.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is a styling look. I think this is a deliberate pattern cutting look, because you can't. I've never seen anybody wear it. Sort of could shut and done up. Yeah. So I think, I reckon the back is bigger. So the hood on the back is probably oversized. So it makes it look like this.
And at the back, it will have a Balenciaga draped.
That draped neckline that we saw earlier on. So I think so. What designers do is take elements and they sort of update it, and he's probably looking around thinking, puffer jackets are quite exciting.
And of course, he was famous for Vetements, which is all about reinterpreting garments, and he worked for Magella as well. Yeah. And this again I quite liked because it's just a houndstooth trench coat, but look at the shoulder.
Yeah.
That's pure Balenciaga with sort of drapiness. There's lots of sort of hidden pleats going on.
Yeah, and that height of that shoulder is way off her shoulder line,
Yes,
isn't
so
it?
he's done the sort of typical Balenciaga thing of a one-piece attached sleeve as a gusset or raglan, but he somehow added like a pleat at the top, so it goes up to her ears, basically.
Yeah. And there's so much extra volume going on down here where it falls into the cuffs. So again, this shape is reflecting those other garments we've looked at, and I think that's what's really exciting. But again, with a very nice matching tie belt, you know, it's all beautifully done. And actually, this is quite wearable. I think I quite like this. But I think this sort of reflects these ideas as well of like everything's about this built-in sleeve.
You can see the sort of you can see the timeline from original Balenciaga and Nicolas Gasquier to the contemporary one. And this is the last one. I just wanted to look at it because this is the very tiny detail, which is pure Balenciaga, which is this beautiful collar which sits slightly away from the neck, and it's just one piece, really simple, sort of quite feminine, rather than like a menswear collar or lapel or short. He always did these beautiful cutaways, one-piece collar.
And I think what's really interesting, and then he's put it with this structure, which looks like that other dress we've got with the back, where he's obviously gone, I quite like that sort of almost like a rope running through a tube. You know, that look. How can I put that in my collections? So therefore, I'm going to combine it with this very glamorous wide collar. So it reminds me of the back of this. Can you see how it has that same feeling, doesn't it? Whereas he's gone, how can I update that and modernise it? I think that's really exciting.
So this fashion chat was not only to look at Balenciaga through the ages, but also I think as a designer pattern cutting myself, it's really interesting to look at details and think, how can I incorporate them into my own designs? You don't just copy Balenciaga, you can say, how do I make Balenciaga now? How do I make it?
How do I take the elements that I'm interested in using and make them into contemporary garments that I want to design? So if you've liked that would be really great. If you'd let us know, that'd be really exciting.
So as always, we're really happy, we're really thankful for your support, and we're really happy to see your comments. So I'm Charlotta.
And I'm Vicky.
Thank you very much for watching.